Well, hi everyone and welcome again on board Impi. Folks, this video series covers our entire trip to Tasmania from mainland Australia. In this video, we are working our way down to Sydney, across the infamous Bass Straits for Hobart, Tasmania. With the start of each release, we will share passage shots across the Bass Straits, and hopefully with different music and settings for each video. We attempt to capture the scene, hopefully one of them in the series really appealing to you, because the vibe and experience of crossing the Straits is something to behold. We hope to convey this to you, and we hope you enjoy this one. Okay, some of you asking where Impi is now. Well, this is episode 2, where Impi is sailing south, way south. Well folks, this is 43 degrees south, and known also as the Roaring 40s.
Also younger than the sun, and the bonnie boat was one as we sailed into the mystic. Hark now, hear the sailors cry, smell the sea, feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And when that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. And when that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will float into the mystic. And when that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will float into the mystic. Smell the sea, feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And when that foghorn blows, I'll be coming home. And when that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and the day is long. And magnificently we will float into the mystic.
Oh, well, okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed this intro a little more than the last one. Well, you will recall in episode 1 us arriving in Pittwater after negotiating some interesting weather conditions. Well, one of the highlights in Pittwater for us is meeting up with our friends Bruce and Lynn Savage, you will recall from our series in New Caledonia.
Look who's arrived again! Silas, the foo-foo!
Missy boy! Hey, my lad!
Good to see you.
You need to pluck some nose hairs there, lad.
Yeah, I know.
You know when you've got good friends, when they arrive at your boat early in the morning, they below you in their boat, you standing up high, he's looking up your nostrils and he says, hey Brent, you need to pluck those nose hairs. Then you know you've got a good friend. Just amazing people. Well, Pittwater on the east coast of Australia, some 20 nautical miles north of Sydney, is a place full of sailing activity. It is home to many friends we have made here through social media, YouTube, Facebook and so on. You can run but you can't hide. Not from this cameraman, man. Hi my buddy.
Did you have a sleep?
I had a sleep.
Nice.
What is your YouTube channel called again?
Denga Marine.
Denga Marine. The man, the man. Awesome guy, man. They took us out to supper and man, I'm gonna miss. I just want to stay here. It's free food. Vault. Tell us a bit about your business. This is your business, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you had it, Kurt?
14 years now.
14 years.
Yeah.
Man, and you guys have such a good reputation. I mean, what do you attribute this to?
Honesty.
Honesty.
If I don't know something, we'll find out. If we don't believe in it,
We try to sell only good quality.
Good quality
Yeah.
stuff. I have seen that actually, guys. They sell. It has to be marine quality, otherwise they're not going to hold it. Thank you very much,
Thank
guys.
you, Brent.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Anna.
much. Safe travels.
And now for more important things,
Hope
Travis
not
is
music.
getting our music going here, man. Because, you know, our bridge wasn't working for a while. What are we checking out here, Travis?
Just put a new amplifier in the top speakers up here. See if
Very
it'll-
cool.
See if it works now.
We're going to see if it works. We've got a new alternator.
We do.
Why do we already need a new alternator? I thought these were meant to be so good.
Well, it's because some boat owners like to ask a lot of everything and charge batteries as fast as possible, and the poor old alternator's gotten a bit too hot, we suspect, because of a faulty temperature sensor, which is meant to protect it from doing so, but it possibly hasn't done its job.
Yeah, so we're thinking the temperature sensor actually failed, because here's a temp sensor here. That's this little guy there, right? And we're thinking, what do these temp sensors have in them? They have like a diode or something in there?
Yeah, they've got a resistor that changes its resistance as the alternator gets hot, and therefore reduces the output of the alternator to protect it from melting itself, essentially. Hey Brent, yeah, look, I think after pulling this old temperature sensor off,
Yeah?
as we suspected it is faulty, this is a brand new temperature sensor, and I've just connected it to my multimeter, and as suspected it's a resistor that's in there, and we're getting 36 kiloohms, if I can hold the terminals on, 37.2.
37.2, yeah?
Is a measurable resistance. It's
Yeah.
not open circuit, it's not closed circuit, it's somewhere in between, which is good. That's a value. But we come across to the old temperature sensor, which has been removed, and we measure open circuit.
Wow.
Infinite resistance.
Infinite.
So that's effectively the same as just not having the temperature sensor there at all.
Wow, so we had a faulty temp sensor then.
Yep, due to the fact that lithium can put so much load on the alternator
Yeah.
for hours and hours,
Yep.
it relies on the temperature sensor to save the alternator from damage. And that would be the case with any alternator that you might choose, because the lithium is almost a short circuit to the alternator. It needs an imposed limit rather than the usual method of the battery self-regulating.
Before any passage at sea, we do preventative maintenance, so we get busy with this. Now, little things like these batteries to our remote autopilot controller can easily go unnoticed, but sometimes it's the small details that determines the level of comfort one will have on a passage. Anna is a lady who loves to keep sailing, so maintenance periods are difficult for her, and fortunately her passion for yoga sees her through these times.
Impi, bonanza impieza, ubani benga tinta mabobesi. Impi, bonanza impieza, ubani benga tinta mabobesi.
Right, so we've worked hard at getting some technical stuff in place, which is what we always like to do in places like Southport and Pittwater on the east coast of Australia. Well, in the meanwhile, we stock the boat for our journey to the roaring Forties and we get set to go, probably via Sydney. Well, it happens now that there is an issue with my South African passport, which I'm hoping to sort out with the South African Embassy here in Australia. However, the process of upgrading here in Australia at the Embassy is just not working. The folks at the Embassy tell us it could take up to 6 months. Well, that won't work with Australian visas. They don't understand. So at the same time, we have some other issues, worrying political issues back home, which I don't want to go into detail with here. But we suddenly are turned around. We have to find a mooring or a marina spot for Impi to make an emergency flight back to South Africa. Well, thankfully our mates Bruce and Lynn here offer to keep an eye on things for us as we fly home for approximately 7 days, 1 week, to get things sorted. We are rushed now, and leaving things late in the season means less time for us in Tasmania. It's very frustrating. But it's always nice to be home, seeing family and friends, albeit for such a short spell.
And everybody starts to move as soon as Pata starts to play.
South Africa is the best place on earth. Always the best place.
This is what we call a braaimeester in South Africa. Leon's just coming and checking the scene.
I'm just
here.
checking the braaimeester.
You're checking that, okay, we're learning. Yeah, we all...
Don't just stand there talking, brother. No, we like our food. Shop. I won't wait for us then. I'll dish up.
arrived and now we're having to row. Because nobody's here to pick us up, we're having to row to the boat. Quite a strong wind blowing. Anna's videoing with the iPhone. She's been very brave. Ah, nice to be back at the boat again. Now, Pittwater is a great place to explore for a while. It brings back great memories of us having explored it last year. The Hawkesbury River meanders inland, and one spot we really love to be at is the well-known Cottage Point. Well, here sees visitors not only sailing in, but also flying in by seaplane. This year we were deeply saddened to learn that the very seaplane that we used to watch and admire, landing and taking off so many times and can be seen in this footage which I took here, had crashed nearby this location with all aboard losing their lives this year. Well, it really stung when we heard the news and realized how close the community are over here. And to have a sad situation like this reaches deep and far into the lives of so many. Oh, very sad, very sad. Now, last year, in spite of the beautiful cruising surrounds in Pittwater, we are also reminded of having experienced some extreme weather conditions with ferocious lightning storms too. Yeah, pretty wild today. Pretty wild, man. This concerned us leaving the boat here, especially since the weather up on Gold Coast last year was so much nicer than down in Pittwater. And this year we were already experiencing heavy weather conditions up on the Gold Coast near Southport. So imagine how bad it could be down here in Pittwater this year. Well, let's struck the land here because there's a big fire. Yeah. Right here. And I feel like
where is it written that all our dreams must be small ones?
Well, I'm sure you'd understand my logic and concern in leaving the boat this year to fly to South Africa to sort out a passport problem. Well, fortunately the weather down in Pittwater is great, and thankfully Bruce and Lynn have kept a good eye on things. Well, cheers Bruce and Lynn, we love you guys, man. So, time to keep heading south for Tasmania. We just want to get down there. The clock is ticking and we're already late in the season. So in our next video, that'll be episode 3, we will be departing Sydney for Hobart in Tasmania. We will share some of the things we consider as we plan to be crossing the notorious Bass Straits.
And I don't know why, and I don't see how, 'cause it's better to be alive than not, and it's better to be here. And it's times like these when you need to know that it's good to be alive, and it's good to be here.